I really hope you guys stay to the end of this video because I really do think that all of these tips are going to help you out, whether or not you are just getting started with your candle business this year, or if you already have launched your candle business. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 practical tips that I have for you that will lead to a higher probability of you being successful in your candle business. For this year of 2025, I'm going to skip over the more mechanical video type component where I went over kind of the more step-by-step on how to get started a candle business. I did record that last year in 2024, so if you want to go check that video out, you can. But today's video, I'm going to focus on 3 main tips that I have for you, and that if you follow these, it is a higher probability of you being successful in your candle business. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. and I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And after almost 5 years in business, yes, we are almost at 5 years. So next month, the end of next month, we will be at 5 years in business. And I really wanted to share these specific tips with you at the beginning of 2025. So again, if you're getting started with your business or if you are ready to launch or have already launched, I really do think that all of these can help you because no matter where you are in your business, you can change and adjust and basically redirect where you need to in order to lead you down a more successful path. Tip number 1, and this is very important. I know this is kind of a broken record with most people, but create some kind of business plan. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be a formal document. It doesn't have to be extremely detailed. Make it very simple for you. You could do it today. So I have 3 questions that you can answer that will create a very basic and simple business plan for you to follow so you have some kind of direction. Because if you're going into this and you have no direction at all on anything, on who you're selling to or where you're going to be selling or what your ultimate goal is, then you're going to be kind of just floating in the abyss of I don't know what I'm doing, which was me in the beginning, by the way. So the 3 questions that I have for you is the first is, why are you starting this candle business? So what are your ultimate goals for short term and long term? So think about why you're starting your candle business and then what kind of goals that you are looking for. So for instance, are you looking for this to just be side income? Are you looking for this to be a very huge multi-million-dollar business? Are you looking to supplement your income on what you're making right now? You have to think about why you're getting started with your candle business and what your ultimate goals are within your candle business. The second question, and I know I've mentioned this so many times before, but it's so important, is to know who you will be selling your candles to. So who is your ideal audience? Who is your target demographic? Is there a niche that you're going to be targeting? And then also, are you wanting to sell directly to the consumer or are you wanting to sell to another business owner? So maybe somebody in the service industry, like a wedding planner or a retail shop owner. These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. You can also have the option of actually selling to somebody who is looking to start their own candle business as you as the manufacturer. So if you want to manufacture somebody else's candles for their business, that is also a completely different business model as well. And based on the answer of those questions, you're able to see where exactly you need to be marketing and then just kind of how you want to structure your business with the look of your candles and the scents that you offer. And then number 3, where are you going to advertise? And again, the answers to the first 2 questions are going to really give you an idea of the answer to this one, really, because you have the option of Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, you have local markets, you have, if you really want to build up an email list and really just focus on email marketing and really kind of gain leads to your email list. There are so many different ways to market, and I would recommend that you focus on organic marketing first before you jump into paid marketing. But if you just sit down and answer these 3 basic questions, that will give you a very simple business plan for you to follow so that you're not just focusing on, okay, I got to create these candles, then I build a website and I launch the website and then now what do I do? With the answers to these questions, you know exactly where you should be finding your ideal customer and how you can actually get your products in front of them and where your main focus should be. The second tip that I have for you is don't put your money into anything that you don't understand. I feel very strongly about this, and something that I did not do from the very beginning, because I feel like once you get going in your candle business, and even if you've kind of laid out a very simple business plan, I think sometimes people think the next step is to either start hiring out or paying people to basically accelerate your success or start advertising right away. When really you can learn so much more by doing it yourself or taking things slower and really understanding what's working organically before you actually dive into advertising or even jump into creating an LLC or, for me, an S corporation. So when it comes to this main tip where I say don't put your money into anything that you don't understand, the reason behind that is because if you are paying somebody for some kind of service and you cannot explain it to somebody in simple terms, you should not be putting your money into it. And I definitely experienced that. So a lot of times people will do this with some kind of advertising agency and put their full trust into what they are doing. And the reason why I am putting this as a tip is because I really do feel like this can waste our money, or you can basically be allocating some of your funds and you don't need to be doing that. So for instance, if you don't understand what somebody is doing for you with a advertising agency, you may be completely overpaying for the services that they are offering you. This goes the same with legal services as well. And this is something that I have realized over the past couple of months, that I severely overpaid for legal services in the past. There are so many things that you can do yourself or really just hold back on. And if you don't feel comfortable with something, or if you don't understand something, it's okay to say, hey, you know what, I need to think about it. Let me take a moment, do your own research, and try to understand first before you put your money in there. I feel the same way when it comes to investing. I am learning about investing and I don't necessarily understand it completely, which has made me not want to do it because I can't really explain it to somebody. And of course, it's not that you have to be able to write a research paper on it or anything, but just understand the basic components of it and be able to explain it to somebody else. Maybe not every little tiny detail of it. But for instance, when I formed my S corporation and I went home and was telling Chris about it, I realized that I wasn't really able to even explain the reasons on why I decided to form the S corporation. And it really just ended up being because it was just recommended to me. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, if the experts are recommending it to me, then I should probably do it. Again, I actually am very happy as of right now that I did do that. But looking back then, I felt very ignorant. So if you are ignorant on something, it's okay. And it's okay to take a moment to learn a bit more about it. There are so many tools out there. Use ChatGPT, I'm telling you. Like, look up things that you don't understand and get a very simple breakdown of how things work before you throw your money at it. Because once you start your business, there will be people in some kind of service industry coming at you from every angle trying to sell you something. And some people are great and it's going to be a good investment, and other people not so much. So just take your time. Don't think that if you just start throwing money at things that it will automatically make you successful. That goes with advertising as well. I think a lot of times people think that, well, I have to run ads in order to get people to come to my website and make purchases. But that's not necessarily the case, especially if you are, if you don't have any kind of validation with your organic content already. So it's basically just learning and figuring out out what's working organically and then taking that and turning that into ads. So that's what I'm working on right now with Pinterest. So I'm really learning all of the organic components of Pinterest. And then once I realize what's working, I'm going to take that and turn that into ads. So it's really just learning about what is working organically, naturally, and then flowing that kind of more into ads. And that's just one example there. But I really wanted to include this as a tip for today's video because I think that it's really important for us as business owners to be knowledgeable on every aspect of our business, even if you're not obviously an expert in any of these areas. But I really have learned so much, and it really makes you feel so much more confident in where you're headed with your business and what the ROI is going to be. So ROI stands for return on investment. So basically, if I'm putting $100 into something, how much am I going to be getting back on that? Obviously, if you're putting that into ads, it's not a guarantee, but you really want to do the best you can to learn and understand either who you're working with or what services are being offered to you, because you really want to know that your money is going to something that's actually going to give you a return on your investment. And the third tip that I have for you in today's video is to pick one type of platform and be very consistent with it. With the endless amount of YouTube videos and content out there of so many people saying that this is the best way to go to advertise your business, or over here's the best, there are so many things out there that are really pulling at you to try it out. And it's not a bad thing inherently to try something out, but I have spoken with quite a few makers, and one of the main things that I've noticed when listening to them is two things. And the last one is kind of a bonus tip I was going to leave for the end, but I will kind of add these two together here. So the main thing is that you got to be consistent. So whatever you are doing to advertise, and we're talking about organic advertising, we're talking about free advertising, is you want to be very consistent, and you want to be taking action. You don't want to be stuck in the research phase cycle. You don't want to be stuck looking at everybody else on what they're doing or thinking about that you should be doing something. You got to be consistent and you got to take action. And those two things over time is what's going to lead you to success. Even when it feels like, okay, well, I've been posting on Instagram for 2 weeks and I've hardly gotten any followers and nobody's liking my stuff. It's really a matter of consistency over time. Consistent on that one platform, instead of 2 weeks on this platform, 3 weeks on this platform, and just kind of jumping back and forth, or half-assing 3 or 4 different platforms, which is what I've always done in the past, because I felt like I needed to be everywhere and be active everywhere in order to really get that return on my investment, if you will, of my time. But that's not at all how it works. And I highly recommend that no matter where you are wanting to put your attention, based on your business goals, based on who your target market is and why you're starting your candle business and what your long-term goals are with your candle business, you want to really give your all with one of those platforms to really get a good idea on how successful you can be, because you really do need to show that platform that you are consistent, you are active, you are basically feeding their algorithm how they want it. And for me personally, I am really focused on Pinterest right now. So Pinterest is my number one focus and goal at the moment. I always am posting on Instagram, but I really am focused on Pinterest right now because I do think that my target demographic is on Pinterest, and I feel like I need to learn that platform through and through and understand it completely, which is what my main focus is right now. And it can be really easy, again, when you hear people, especially on YouTube, and I know you understand what I'm talking about when I say that there are certain videos that will pop up that are like TikTok shop is the best thing, or, Instagram Reels, only focus on Instagram Reels, or Facebook ads, or whatever it is. I got really into like direct mail at one point too. So like physically sending little samples, direct mail to different locations. I never actually did it, but I researched a ton into that. So there's so many different things that will catch your attention, but just follow your business plan, your simple business plan, look at your personal goals and figure out where your target market is and be on that platform completely. And it may not even be a platform. It may be local markets. It may be just reaching out to retailers personally if you're wanting to go the wholesale route. It may be posting about you as a manufacturer on a platform like Instagram. So in that case, it would be a platform. But there are makers out there who their whole business is being a manufacturer for other candle business owners. Or it could be a situation where there is a retail shop owner or somebody who has a hair salon or something, and they're wanting their own candles for their own personal business. So there's just so many ways that you can really utilize the endless amount of platforms that we have. But the con about that is that we're constantly being dragged in all these different areas, and the grass is always greener everywhere that we're not looking. So just know that you have to focus on where your audience is, what you are wanting to achieve with your candle business, and be super consistent and take action with one specific area of focus. Those are my tips for today's video. If you want a part 2 to this video, please let me know down in the comment section below, because I have a lot of little tips like this that don't have to do with like a very structured step-by-step of how to start a candle business. Those are always great, but being able to focus a little bit more past that point will give you a better idea of things that you should be thinking about that's going to lead you to a more successful business. But with that, I'm going to end today's video right here. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at MemoryBoxCandleCo, and I will see you in the next video. I know, Brody, I'm all done. They have not seen you in quite a while. Here he is. He got a haircut yesterday, huh? Look at the camera. Hi, honey. Hi.